What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Spunny, and welcome to Fooling Around Part 2. Sadly, my co host Keon is not here today, but we have Kyle, Manny, and Moss back again on the podcast. And a new addition to the podcast, we also have Anthony. Anthony, why don't you tell us a
Like
little bit
people.
about yourself?
Well, I am a shit talker. Thank you,
Okay.
because I know you're gonna pull that shit out of your ass.
Yeah.
Uh, I do like cars, and I'm a skinny dickhead. Hi, guys.
Works.
Okay, sure. That's a good introduction for yourself. Anything else? Anything else? Like,
No, no,
that's
no.
it? Oh,
They'll,
just skinny dickhead and likes cars. Okay, cool.
yeah, they'll
Alright.
figure me out sooner or later.
Pretty much half of Miami.
That,
Holy shit.
he's not wrong. That's literally all like Miami for some reason. Well, half. But good point.
Monster
okay.
turning on his camera.
You you can pop my bag and call me daddy.
Oh, it's not. He's trying so hard.
It's still
Oh,
unfocused.
like-
You're still gonna have to refocus that bit, buddy.
It's gonna get it.
Just swipe your hand
It's
over
gonna
it.
get it.
Just-
Give it a
there
second.
you
Oh,
go.
There you go. Well, look at the
Moss,
full.
why you
Beautiful.
look like the why you look like the living version of Shaggy?
Full.
Raggy?
Roll Raggy.
I
Hold
can't
up.
even try to do that. I
Raggy.
like an
Raggy?
accent.
I think we need some Scooby snacks, Raggy.
All right. So, what does everyone think about the Cold War beta so far? It's my concern.
It's trash.
What do you say? It's
Boring.
So
It's oh, I just don't.
Alright,
I don't like
let's
how
all,
it feels
let's-
at all.
let's all admit this. Moss is just mad that he's bad at the game and he can't get the mechanics of it, so he calls it trash.
What are you talking about, dude? I literally went like 25-2 in my first game.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah.
Aren't you a hothead now?
Wow. When did Moss become so
Aren't
good?
you a hot shot?
Alright.
Shit, why can't you just do that in Warzone, bro?
Yeah.
Warzone.
Get 25 kills and just, maybe die.
I think the
twice.
highest skills I've
Must
ever
be
seen
nice.
Moss get was like 7.
Okay, that's funny. Shut up.
Dude, I had a 9 kill.
When he's
game
pulling out the
today.
Carfax.
I think 7 is on a good day though.
Alright.
So much right now.
Okay, so I know in the previous podcast I was just talking about how I personally think that it's going to be a walk in the park for Call of Duty. It's just going to be another successful game. And after playing the beta, I sort of still feel the same way, only because of the fact that, of course, it's a beta. There's going to be some glitches here and there. There's going to be changes after this and things like that. But the overall gameplay as is isn't necessarily a bad thing. The multiplayer is okay. The maps, since there's only 3 of them, it gets pretty boring pretty fast if you just play all day because it's only 3 maps that you can potentially get. And then we were playing this other game mode, Kyle, if you remind me, it's like Dirty Bomb or something like that.
It is 30 bomb.
Yeah, it's where
I
you
didn't even remember it.
yeah, where you have to like go and kill somebody and they drop uranium. You pick up that uranium, fill up the bomb, and then detonate it.
It's basically like a BR mixed with plunder from Modern Warfare.
It basically is plunder because you have to pick up the uranium and deposit it.
Honestly, it just
Sure, yeah,
reminds
instead of
me
getting
of
money.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of Battlefield, and that's not necessarily a bad thing considering that Battlefield is where it's at right now. But I mean, I overall enjoyed it for a beta. I wasn't expecting much. Obviously, it's not going to be the same quality as a full-blown game, but just as a sampling platter for the game itself, the mechanics are nice. The audio is amazing. I absolutely love how they like implemented the subs into it. It's definitely more in-depth feel with the audio alone. And I just think as the full game comes out, it's definitely going to be better.
All that I'm saying is that having played about 10 minutes of the game, and, I don't want to call myself an expert, but I would call this an expert opinion. Call of Duty needs to change the formula.
But it's
It's-
working for them, so
Like, if
they're
it's
not
not-
going to change the formula.
And if
I
it ain't
know,
broke,
and that-
don't fix it, dude.
Pretty fucking much, yeah.
I understand, like, don't change the formula, but then why even make a new game if it's just going to be the same game every year?
But it's not.
But it
I mean,
is.
think about
The
it.
only
So,
difference is the
look,
canceling
alright.
and the time
Mo-
period.
Moss is right. It's basically the same game, just different mechanics, different characters, different weapons, and
Like
that's
that's
So,
why Call of
just,
Duty
it's basically a
failed.
reskin of like the original COD 4 basically, just updated graphics and like I said, just everything's
Yeah, but
basically the
you're
same.
I
basically
think
saying the same shit about Battlefield then.
I
Yeah.
think you can
it
say that
is,
about any game
Yeah,
that has
no,
a
it literally
series.
is like Battlefield because they
but
do the
think
same
about
thing.
it.
It's just a reskin with updated graphics.
Why
The thing about
why
Mortal
are
Kombat, Mortal Kombat has been there for fucking years, and it's the same shit over and over again, just with a different story that continues each and one of its own.
No
yeah
doubt
but
about
the,
it. It's basically the same thing.
yeah
Yeah,
but
it's
the game
basically the
also
same
doesn't
thing.
cost $60.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
now
true.
it costs
Manny, it does.
$80, but
No, you have to
oh,
turn it off.
goodbye,
Yeah, no,
Anthony. Welcome
sorry,
back,
No, he's
Anthony.
good.
no,
He's good.
no. It's just my mic that I don't know why it's been fucking up lately.
That's
But
terrible.
but I think like you look at the failure of COD League, and I think the big problem was like, okay, look at all the big esports titles right now. Okay, we got CS:GO, Rainbow Six, Dota 2, League,
Watch.
Rocket League.
Overwatch.
Like none of those, yeah, none of those games are new. They're all old. They went out with the purpose, well, mostly with the express purpose of being created as competitive games. And that wasn't Call of Duty's goal to create a competitive game, more be like a casual arcade shooter, but it can be competitive if it,
There's like a whole
didn't
shitload of
make a new game
competitive
every other
leagues out
year.
there.
I mean,
It,
it is
it could it
competitive
could
though.
be a
It does have
competitive
competitive
game.
leagues.
Like Call
No,
of Duty
100%.
does have replayability, for sure. Like there's no doubt in that. But when you make a new game year after year, only update the mechanics and implement new things when you create a new title instead of supporting the one that you just released. I
Like a
mean,
year ago, 2 years
yeah,
ago,
yeah. When was Modern Warfare released?
last year, like around this time.
Right.
It's been over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too fast. That's the problem.
To
And they
release
literally
CODs, what, like every 2 or 3 years, and then they started doing every year, and especially since they started having rotations between like Activision,
Infinity
what are the
Ward.
two?
But
Infinity
then
Ward
again,
and stuff. But what, Infinity Ward is not even a company anymore, right? Or did
like,
they disbanded
yeah,
Modern
they
Warfare, right? I think.
no,
No,
they're
they
still a
split.
company.
They split. They literally
Yeah,
every other year create a game. Activision gets one, and then Infinity Ward gets another.
And then there
So a
was
lot of
another company. Oh, Sledgehammer Games. That's what it was.
What did they
Sledgehammer is
do
the one
again?
that split up from Infinite Ward.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sledgehammer was
so
the one who created correct me if I'm wrong, Modern Warfare 2. They
I
had
geez,
partake in it.
I can
They
look
did.
it
They
up.
partook in it, but I think they made Ghost, wasn't it?
That too.
I
Yes, they
think
did.
so.
I'm pretty sure for that one.
I
Look, but
think it
the
was
point is,
Ghost they made, but not everyone even liked Ghost. I
the point
mean,
is,
I
if
liked it. I didn't have a problem with it.
I
I
know there
think
was a majority of people who didn't like Ghost.
Okay, yeah. So they were
yes,
in.
majority didn't like him. But I
They,
think
look,
what they didn't like most was I think the campaign. If I'm wrong,
no,
I think
Ghost
that's
was
what it was
just
mostly. People didn't like the
Ghost.
campaign.
Moss, you were saying?
Ghost was just annoying.
Sledgehammer was involved in COD 3,
Okay.
and then they produced the game engine for COD Advanced Warfare and COD World War II.
Advanced Warfare. Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to
So
that.
they
I was
yeah, so
completely
they
wrong.
okay, but I mean, look, my thing is with Call of Duty at least, they're targeting a specific market, I want to say. You know what I mean? It's not for individuals who are going to go into the professional league and go forth with it. Yes, they can do things to make it a more competitive game, but at the end of the day, it really is just a rinse and repeat with new characters, new guns, new customizations, so that you're, and of course, new themes, so that you feel like you're getting a whole new experience. Because in reality, if you really want to look at it, all first-person shooters are essentially the same with different graphics. But Call of Duty successfully recreated games with new implemented tactics, motions, things like that. I mean, in the new one, especially, look, they put in Dirty Bomb. That alone is a game that people can enjoy separate from Warfare, from Warzone, and separate from Zombies. And then you have the separate multiplayer. So they're giving you a vast variety of gameplay options. You want to go into it, and you want to just go to fuck around and shoot shit. You definitely can. If you want to go in more tactical, you want to enjoy the game, you can. If you want it with an objective, you can. If you just want to go in and just you and a couple of buddies versus a couple AIs, you can do that shit too. At the end of the day, all they're doing is they're trying to supply to a market that has many demands to the best that they can. And I think that they're hitting it on the nose when they do it because I mean, through the quality that they've put forth, it's definitely always going to be Call of Duty, but at the end of the day, at least it's something new. It's not like you pick up the game and then you go, "Oh, here's World at War again," or "Here's Advanced Warfare again," or "Here's Ghost again." Every single game has its own things. Even when they're bringing back guns like in the new one, I mentioned it in the last podcast, they're bringing the AK-74U back. Although they're bringing it back, it still has its own completely different experience in this game versus in the previous games that it was featured in.
Yeah, not only that, how they released the new zombies reveal. That's a whole completely different zombie from every other zombie that has
It's
been
true.
released.
Yeah, I will give
And
you
you
that.
cannot
And now that we're
say
not even getting
that
the
they
same
kept
storyline, jeez, man,
yeah,
it's so
and
different.
they're getting new characters for it. Like the old characters are out and they're bringing new characters. You cannot say that this Call of Duty has tried to implement the same thing that every other COD has.
I mean,
There's
honestly,
no way.
from this Black Ops, from the previous Black Ops, Black Ops 4, it's a huge, huge milestone because
Difference
there's a huge difference. Because it went from super, super techy, jetpacks flying, you could fly literally anywhere,
to wall
fucking
climbing.
little wall climbing. Literally, when Advanced Warfare, was it Advanced Warfare that received the most
Yeah,
dislikes on YouTube ever in YouTube history?
yeah,
Yeah. From going from
yeah. It
Advanced
was a
Warfare to Black Ops 4 and then going into Cold War, come on, bro. Like, everyone's super hyped for Cold War. They made that
they,
huge milestone to make them change themselves, and it's honestly turning out a lot better than I thought it would be. Even though when I played it, honestly, it was very clunky. Movements were clunky, the gunplay was clunky, but I feel like those could be fixed pretty easily, even though it is just a beta. But I feel like when the game fully releases, it's gonna be an absolutely amazing game because the game modes are really fun, right? I feel like the campaign is gonna be very immersive, and zombies is gonna be absolutely insane. Me personally, never really liked zombies, but I feel like with this zombies, because there is an actual objective to these zombie modes, and there's an extraction point where you can actually just finish the zombies mode and just leave. I feel like
yeah,
it's
it's
gonna
like
be completely different.
continuous.
Yeah, it's not gonna be continuous where
Alien.
you last like 1,000 waves. It's like
It,
where you're gonna give you an
And
objective
you
to
forgot the
complete.
kill streaks.
Yeah,
And
and
you
they
forgot
have
the kill
added kill
streaks.
streaks, which is
it's
gonna be
literally like
completely cool.
Aliens because literally there was an objective to Aliens in COD Ghost. Like literally, you went, you got rid of all of the
Oh
like
yeah,
the
I
eggs
remember
and
that.
stuff, and literally there was an objective: get in,
Yeah,
kill, like destroy all the eggs or whatever they were, get
you
out,
extract.
and that's it. Yeah, it was an actual objective and ending to the game. I don't know. I don't remember about Infinite Warfare. I think there was one as well, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Infinite Warfare was the cyber ones.
Moss, we can barely hear you, by the way.
Oh, I said, are we
Hold
glossing
on,
over the
my
fact
mic
that
is like
Sporty said he
my
didn't
mic is
like
fucking up
zombies?
on Manny.
Say it again. You're like
I
your
need to
quality in your
I need
videos
to
even
connect to
like
your mic.
slowing down.
Hold on.
No,
Okay,
don't press
we can
that.
hear you.
Press
We can
Oh,
hear
there
you.
you go. You're good.
Are you
You're
good
good. You're
now?
good now.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. I said, are we just gonna gloss over the fact that Spunny said he doesn't like zombies?
No, it's not that
Oh
I
no,
don't like
I
zombies.
heard it. I just didn't want to bring it up.
I've never gotten into
It's
it, right? Like, I've never had like a friend, like a couple of friends who were like, "Oh, you want to play zombies?" And I'll be like, like they've never invited me to play zombies because, in a matter of like, I
oh
didn't have a lot of
Insert
friends playing
sad
Call of Duty.
music.
I think the okay, so like I played Modern Warfare 2, and then after Modern Warfare 2, I played Black Ops 2, and then after that, I kind of quit and then got back into Black Ops 3, like at the very end of Black Ops 3.
Strange game to get back into caught up.
It was,
Yeah.
it's not,
but
but it's not that bad though.
No, I mean, it wasn't a bad
Particularly
game.
bad game, but it was just like
A
it
weird
was just
time.
strange. Yeah.
It was better than him jumping onto when it was Advanced Warfare.
yeah, when
That's
I
fair.
got
I'm not gonna
Infinite,
lie. It was Advanced Warfare was pretty good.
when I
I don't
got
know.
when Black Ops 4 was like starting to like end itself, when I got into Infinity War, it was terrible. I hated that game so much. I was like, why can't I
Wait,
just go back to Black Ops 3?
Yeah,
and I
no.
want to do point this out. because Moss earlier was saying that it looked cartoony. From every other Black Ops that there has been, this is the least cartoonish one that they've
No, he didn't
made.
say cartoony. He said arcadey. There's a
Well, yeah,
difference.
Yeah,
arcade,
Call of
which is
Duty
it
as a
basically,
series is an arcade shooter.
but it doesn't look like it though, and it doesn't even have that feel of an arcade.
I well, like Spunny was saying, the movements feel clunky and the guns feel clunky, which is what you know
But then again, we
typically.
are in beta,
I mean,
I understand that, but
so
you
the
know
I
way
mean,
I
you still
see
can't
it,
go
the
based off of it
game
yet.
the game does release in like a month, and to revamp the movement system or the gunplay system in 1 month is a very big task.
the way I see it, honestly, is just like any other Call of Duty. Um, you start off, and then in time, you just get used to it. I mean, every game has a different sort of gameplay style. I mean, you go into Advanced Warfare, you're not going to get the same thing that you got out of Modern Warfare.
No, because you're getting what
Even
like
if you go to
boost
the older
jumping
Modern
and all that
Warfare, you
stuff.
even the older Modern Warfares don't have the same sort of gameplay. At the end of the day, it's the same transition. You just got to get accustomed to it. That's where the difference lies. But I again, I don't. I'm not trying to hail praise to fucking Call of Duty or anything, but at the end of the day, they've already put forth a significant amount of effort into their games, and it's very clear. I mean, if you just take into consideration the fact that not only did they include so many different game modes, but you even had two different fucking storylines that you were following. You know what I mean?
What are the two storylines?
There was the main storyline for every single game like for example that included zombies, and then there was the entire zombies storyline. And
And
as you did the Easter eggs, you came to find out and realize that there was a full in-depth background and storyline for the zombies modes. It wasn't just surviving forever. There was a storyline. They had Easter eggs. They had videos on it, and it all ended in like that whole
in
emotional ending
BO4.
that I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who may have not gone through and realized that and may want to go back, but it's that in and of itself, especially since in those situations you definitely build more of an emotional relationship with like Richtofen and the others as a part of it. You know what I mean? They even tied additional characters who are from separate universes together with that. So I think with the amount of detail and effort that they've put, I definitely think with this new one, they're just going to do it all over again. And we don't know it yet, of course, because it takes time to figure out the Easter eggs and shit like that. But they always throw in stuff that you don't get or you don't see or learn about from the pamphlet. You only learn through those people who grind for hours going through the game just to figure shit out.
Dude, like people spend like maybe like 2 days, day and a half, maybe like or just hours on a single day. It's like just trying to figure out one simple mechanic, and like it leads to a whole, you know, other section of mechanics that you've never even either learned or knew about, like because they weren't in previous Call of Duty zombie games and stuff like that.
I'm just
So
putting
I
it
mean,
there.
It just
Me and
excites
Kyle
people
are
to
the
use modern guns.
Easter egg hunters. I'm just putting
dude,
that.
yo,
Yeah, you kind of like to do
Destiny
that.
like literally made me an Easter egg hunter. Like
I
even
love. I
before playing, like even COD, like playing. Well, I mean, vice versa. Even before playing Destiny, I always wanted to find like Easter eggs and stuff, like without even looking at the videos. I'm just like, bro, like I want to do it on my
That's
own.
for me.
Easter egg is so much fun. Unlocking like new like potential. Just it's pretty fun.
Especially if
It's
it adds to the storyline. That's like when it
especially
most counts.
like I think we're missing like one more Easter egg on the new Modern Warfare new season, and that's pretty much it.
I
But
really haven't done any of them, so I don't
yeah,
know.
we can help you with them. But wait, does Cold War have its own war zone?
Yeah.
It has this new. It
So
has
I
this,
don't know if it incorporates into Modern Warfare's Warzone or not, because obviously two
I don't think
different
so.
guns and two different, I guess, time periods.
Same
But
map.
I
I
think they
haven't
just have
played
the
it.
Warzone feature, so you can transfer between Cold War and Modern
Yeah, but my
Warfare.
my thing is like with Cold Wars, it may even be the similar map just at a different era, but it's definitely going to be its own independent war zone. It's not like things are going to transfer. It's not like you could crossplay between the two games. I feel like that's just a little too chaotic. So it's definitely going to have its own independent war zone, at least in my personal opinion. Of course, there hasn't been a solid yes or no on that matter, but And I'm excited for it because I mean, at the end of the day, that's a whole new version of Warzone that we get to experience.
I kind of want to take the like a couple minutes back when Manny said with Dirty Bomb, right? Like it's a new mode and it reminds me of Ground War. Ground War was like big when it came out, right? But I feel like as the community kept growing and the game kept getting more and more popular and they started adding more maps and more weapons and stuff. I feel like Ground War wasn't something that consistently had an update. Like in BO2, for instance, they only had like what two big maps, right? But like when Modern Warfare came
Yeah.
out with Ground War and stuff, they had multiple different maps for so you can go and explore and play on. Especially with Modern Warfare, it's like they integrated the Ground War maps into into the BR mode, right? And it literally was cool because we got to play it before even knowing that they were going to add BR
Yeah.
or Warzone. So
Yeah.
I found it pretty cool and interesting.
Yeah.
But
Right, like
I feel like Ground War does have a lifespan, right? I feel like Dirty Bomb will also have its lifespan. Like right now we're playing it in beta, right? We've played it, we've had our fun with it. We can go back to it and like have more fun. But I feel like over time, as the game's within the next year of it being out and waiting for I guess the next COD, it's gonna have its time period where it's really active and then where it's gonna be like not as active.
I
You know.
mean, the way I see it, honestly, the only reason people are playing Dirty Bomb as much as they do right now is just because nothing else is available. And those who are tailored to that sort of gameplay will definitely stick to it. But it definitely will not be the volume that we're seeing right now. Because, I mean, if you get the option of multiplayer, story mode, Dirty Bomb, Warzone,
Zombies.
and zombies, there's no way. It's just there's no way, and I think that's also a good thing because then there's less risk of having to wait on lobbies. There's less, spammed lobbies full of people or taking forever to find people. And I mean, with how large of a audience that Call of Duty has, it definitely isn't going to run short. You know what I mean? It's definitely not gonna run into a hiccup where now there's too many people going into too many different directions, and we can't get enough people loading in the lobbies. I don't see that happening with Call.
I just find it like every game mode or game has its lifespan, right? Or map.
Definitely.
Like we, at least me, and I know we were kind of talking about it earlier, like off the podcast. Like shipment and shoot house, right? Like we wanted it back when the AA-12 was announced, or the Jack 12, when it was announced, right? But like when they released new weapons, like sometimes they didn't even have shipment out or shoot house out yet at the time. And when it was introduced, like that's like all everyone and anyone wanted to play, right? And I think it also has its lifespan because shipment has been throughout how many Call of Duties now? Like
Too many.
almost all of them. It
Like
would-
literally way too many.
like there was literally way too many that it was remastered on, and I will say some of them did it right, and some of them did it wrong. Right, like World War II, I feel like they did a good job with it, with the remap design of it. But Modern Warfare, I'm not a big fan of. I feel like it's too easy to, spawn and die like every 5 seconds.
Honestly, I'm
Especially when you're
surprised they
playing
haven't brought
shipment.
back Dom. Dome, I mean. They should have brought back Dome, to be honest. But like,
Dome would have been a great map
it would have been a
to be
great
a
map to
throwback
add.
in
No,
Modern Warfare, and
what were
especially in
we
Modern
talking
Warfare.
about the other day? We were talking about the airport map,
Oh yes.
airport,
especially since we have the airport right there.
Terminal,
Modern
yes,
Warfare,
Yes,
yeah,
Terminal.
terminal, yeah.
They
dude.
tried doing a remake
Would've been
in
awesome.
I think Infinity War, but it didn't turn out as good.
But
No, so they basically did it in. They did do it in Infinite Warfare. It was literally just an entire reskin with the game mechanics.
Yeah, it was completely trash.
Literally what it
It
was.
was completely trash.
No, yeah, 100%. Because you had like jump boosting and you had all this other nonsense instead of it just being like Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Boots on the
They
ground,
should
just fantastic gameplay. Yeah, it was cool.
they
So
should have brought it back as a Warzone, not as a Warzone, as a ground war map.
no,
Oh my
way too
god.
small. It's way
it's way
too
too
small.
small for a ground war map.
Yeah,
No,
100%.
but
But
that's what I mean. Like they should have brought it back as a like a ground war map, but expanded it.
I feel like they should have brought it back in
They
this Modern Warfare because we do have a map in the BR called Airport. Like, literally, we can just call it Airport instead of Terminal. I mean, I get
called
why they didn't, because I guess in today's society, or like in today's present year, everybody's kind of soft, I want to say, because everyone's kind of
Sensitive.
softened up to, yeah, very sensitive. Everything has to be like really suppressed, and I think that's why. And especially like with the no Russian scene, they banned it in Russia and a couple of other countries. They literally
controversial
actually,
that scene was
yeah,
back
because
then. Imagine that now.
dude, no, yeah, exactly. They literally had it banned from like their game.
Hmm.
Like they literally had to remove it from their game before actually publishing it, because they didn't want people to get ideas, and. But again, it's a video game. Like obviously there are sick people in the world who would do something like this, but it's a video game that's kind of predicting, I guess, what would happen in like scenarios, like worst case scenario, like something like this could happen. And it's just, I feel like cutting something like this is just not right because you're too sensitive to it. So, but that's just me.
Someone
Okay.
made a really good comparison about that to me a while ago, and they said like, especially concerning the United States. So they looked at the total gun deaths of the whole country of like England, right? And then took the United States and adjusted it for population. And the US had five, or sorry, no, they didn't do that. They did like the US has about five times
The
the
death
t-
toll.
no,
Yeah,
now I'm
in
screwing it
general.
up. No, they adjusted it. And the US has five times the amount of gun deaths per capita than the UK does. And they took the total like market of video games in the UK, of violent video games in the UK, and then did it with the US, and it was also five times more. Um, I said this wrong. No, the
No, I get what
deaths,
you mean.
the deaths in the US were significantly more than five times, but the sale of video games was exactly five times what it was in the UK. So video games aren't the problem; it's something else, is what that was.
Right,
That I
no,
was
but
trying to
like
say.
I know what you're trying to get at. It's just like, again, I think they removed it because again, it's like they don't want people getting ideas, and like there are sick people in the world who do play like COD and stuff, so they like
Hmm.
get ideas and whatnot. But
I
also,
agree.
I think they also removed it because they were kind of, I guess, blaming Russia for the whole no Russian scene in a U.S. airport. So I think that was another reason they got rid of it.
Um,
So
Do you blame them though? Because that scene
I gotta
was
be honest.
highly graphic.
no, yeah, the scene was intense, especially like in Modern Warfare 2, right? That was the scene it came out in, or was it 3?
Yeah, it was no, it was on
You
W2.
know,
It was
if
on the
I'm
2, right? Okay.
if I'm being honest, I feel like the reason that they cut that scene wasn't just primarily because of the content, but because as the years have gone from when the initial No Russia scene came out and the new one, there's significantly more children who have been begun playing Call of Duty. And that's just because as you know, time has passed in general, society has been more accepting of things like that. I mean, even if you think about movies and stuff like that, beforehand, you'd maybe get a bitch if you were lucky. Now they can still curse their heads off and even have somebody having, flashing a tit or something, and it'd still be rated PG-13.
But that's not a bad thing.
I
Right,
mean,
but I feel like if
If
you're
you
I'm not
comparing
saying
it
it
to like
is.
nudity in movies and cursing and stuff, I feel like it's different because I I watched the movie recently. It was like a 1990 movie or whatever, sometime in the 1990s era, and there was just like tits all over the place, curse words, drinking. I know it's bad.
Kyle,
But what
I know that
was
Kyle,
sounds
what
what?
was
bad.
the movie?
Okay, but what was it
Kyle,
rated?
what was the movie?
What was I don't remember the movie rating. I'm gonna be real with you. I was just
Okay,
watching it. It was on
guys,
TV. I was bored. I was like, all right, cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, just look at this recent movie, the 365 days or whatever it was on Netflix.
Oh.
It's literally about a guy who abducts a girl and then gives her a year to fall in love with him, or he'll release her. He literally like kidnaps the girl. There's literally a scene where
What that's
it
about?
was, yeah, it is. It's basically, it was basically a porn scene because I mean the girl was straight up just giving the guy a blowjob and like they did everything but show the entire dick. Like that
Well,
was the, like
it was definitely a fake dick. You
it
know it was a
doesn't
fake dick.
matter.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean at
not
the end
the
of the
point.
there was a
And
dick
that
in
was,
her mouth on a camera and it
but that
was
was
released
also
as a
that was the
regular
point of the
rated
movie.
R movie.
That was the point of the
Right?
movie.
No, that was the
No,
point of
no,
the movie.
no, no,
He has
mind you, hold
women
on, real
fall
quick.
in love with
That
me.
the girl that did it wasn't even like the main character who got abducted. It was just a random flight stewardess on his plane.
Oh,
Wow.
And she just straight up like as open as possible. Like basically it was one dickhead away from a porn scene.
look, all I'm saying is that I went to go see the second 50 Shades of Grey movie with my girlfriend at the time, and there was way too many cucumbers in that movie theater. There was
Wait, what?
That's
there was
disgusting.
way too many, bro.
It's fucking disgusting.
There should have been 0 in there.
Why would? Why did you go
Dude.
see the second one? Why'd you see the first one? As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
He
Wait a
had a
minute.
girlfriend.
Were you forced to,
Girlfriend.
or just girlfriend reasons?
Listen, I'm not about to make this man discuss his kink on fucking podcast.
No,
Please.
I don't. I don't have that.
Chow, have you
But we can
never
discuss
had
it if you
your
want.
girl tell you, let's watch 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
Oh, be fucking glad. Because they're the one
Why?
that make us watch it. They're the
Listen,
one that
I'll
make
say
us watch
things.
it.
I'll say things off of the podcast later because it's not being recorded.
My girlfriend's favorite car is an
Anyways,
Audi R8, if that says anything.
What?
What?
the
Because
guy's car.
he drives an Audi R8 in every movie.
I'm assuming, but doesn't this other guy, the guy from High School
Yes.
Musical, the main character, what's his name?
Zac Efron?
Zac
Yeah,
Efron.
in that one movie, where he's like a dad, and he's like younger version of himself.
Oh, I know what
He
you're talking
drives an
16
about.
Audi
again.
R8 in that
16
movie
again.
too.
No, wrong movie. Was it 16 again?
16 and over?
Yes, yeah, it is. It's 16 again.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Hey, Moss,
Yeah,
but
and he goes back to
if I
high
was
school.
a girl, I'm sorry, but if I was any girl and I see a hot as,
Call him babe.
dude come out of a car,
Oh, it's
out of an
17
R8,
again.
I'll be like, my, something went.
Yeah, if I saw a dude get out of an Audi R8, I'd go talk to him too.
I'd be like, what do you
I'd
do
be
for a
like, hey,
living?
buddy, can I
I'm
borrow your
bringing,
car?
I'm bringing an
I
Audi
would
R8
tell
when I
him
come
I
down to
got
Florida.
WAP for that car.
No, you won't.
Do it.
Bet you won't.
I'll
Pull
fucking
up in
Turo an Audi
pull up in
R8.
an
I don't
R8,
care.
please.
No
I
Make my
balls.
will.
day.
I'll
Okay.
Turo an
No,
R8.
I
Okay,
would
bet.
I would want you to chop up my Corolla.
It
I'll
doesn't
fucking chop your Corolla, but
It
it was my
doesn't take. He
V12.
drives a Lancer.
He does drive a
It
Yeah,
doesn't
Lancer.
matter.
I'm putting a turbo in it. It's gonna have like 200
Bro,
wheel
it's gonna be an
horsepower.
it's gonna be an EcoBoost Lancer.
Exactly.
I'll put an EcoBoost badge on it. I'll do it. I don't care.
Kyle's like over here, like, huh?
No, do me a favor. Do me a
I'm kind
favor.
of
Add
just
a
keeping low.
put a Honda sign. Put a Honda sign on it.
Put,
No,
put,
that I won't do.
No,
But
no,
I will.
you wanna piss people off? Put the Subi symbol.
No.
You know what? No, you want to know the wildest thing? Okay, so when I put like my full exhaust on,
Swap a Subi motor.
when I put my full exhaust
I
on,
think that'd be better.
it actually sounds like a Subi at like it sounds like a Boxer at low revs. But once I hit like Myvec or whatever, it sounds like a Honda. Like it sounds like the Honda VTEC. It's crazy.
So
It's
you mean
very
it sounds like
strange.
child's car glorified?
Oh, so your car's
My
transformer?
my car has a trans, yes.
hey,
No,
Anthony, why are
but
you
I'm
dissing about my
gonna
car,
get too
right? Shut the
noisy.
fuck up.
Huh?
Why are you dissing about my car, huh? My
So
car is
before you get stuck
sexy.
in a speed bump.
Yeah, I can't go over speed bumps. It's pretty sad. My girlfriend's like,
I mean,
why
that's any
can't you go over speed
student.
bumps? And I'm like, this
Cal can't
is
go to half like 90% of Miami.
Child, my question is,
this
when
is
both of
this
you
is
get inside the
this
car,
is
how
the road
much
and
does it lower?
this is the car. This is the road. This is the car,
No,
bro.
no,
Can you
that's
can
so
you answer my
Yeah,
mean.
question, John?
luckily for you,
When you
my
guys
my
sit in the
coils are
car,
stiff as fuck. All right, I've been in the car with me and Norbin. Let's just put it like that.
Now we're gonna watch this podcast and be like, "What the fuck? I
No,
wasn't even in there."
me and
Talking
Norbin,
shit.
both pretty big guys, you know. And I've had up to like 5 people in my car. My coils are pretty stiff. I'm not gonna lie.
Just in
it's
case
okay.
Gio
What's your
watches this
spring rate?
podcast, imagine if Gio was in there.
Child, it's okay. Since when I was on coilovers, I lost all the clips of my bumper and
Uh,
bent 3 support bars on my bottom of the car.
yeah, that's you. No, I'm careful about my car.
No, that's because wherever I went, I had to go over speed bumps.
Yo, have you seen that video that I sent? I sent it to Kyle, but I sent it in the group chat with all of us. The new Spider-Man game. Like one of the cutscenes, he like rescues a cat, and the cat's name is Spider-Man. And
Spider Cat.
apparently,
Yeah, it's his actual
no, it's
sidekick.
named. Yeah, no, it's named Spider-Man though. Like the guy named it Spider-Man. Anyways, so apparently you'll be able to use it in fight scenes and like the
Yeah,
animation and everything.
I
Like it
saw
comes out
that.
the book pack and like jumps on him.
I
The
saw
only
that.
thing that I was kind of confused at the end of the video that I sent, he goes because obviously one of his new moves is like the electricity from like his fingertips, and
Right.
the cat's like on the guy's chest, and you can see he's about to electrocute the guy. And in my head, I was like, he's about to electrocute that cat too.
He's about to fry him.
That cat's sitting on his chest.
Spider-Man kind of sus right now.
Wait, why can he shoot? Why is he Electro now?
No,
It's
he has like basically
it's a
tasers on
web
his
shooter that
fingertips.
has electric on it.
No, that's Spider-Man. But in Miles Morales, he has an
Oh, the
actual
cat?
ability.
Yeah. You don't remember even in the
In the
Spider-Verse
movie,
movie?
Spider-Verse
Yeah,
movie, Miles
he like
Morales, when
zaps
he
him
got
back.
his abilities, he had like electric
And the
What?
invisibility too.
fingertips.
What? Oh
Well, the
yeah,
camouflage.
Electric
that
powers.
is
Yeah, I
true.
wouldn't say
Oh
visibility. I
yeah,
think
and
it's
camouflage.
camo.
That is very true. I can't.
Dude,
Or
can
invis, yeah,
spiders
that's what it's called.
No, it's not
can
called
spiders
invisibility. It'd
even
be
do
called
that?
camo.
Yeah.
No, because it was a genetically engineered spider. That's what it was.
Right.
Yeah, it's a genetically engineered spider, but I mean at the end of the day, if you think about it, although it may not be, visible to us, there are different insects that take advantage of those sort of things. And when brought to scale on a human size, obviously can produce similar results. I mean,
Right.
the
No,
camouflage thing is easy, but
it was like originally in what you call Andrew Garfield, not Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He was bit by a radioactive spider, but it was only radioactive because of gene splicing that they were doing in the lab where he went and got his powers from. And it was literally the same thing for Andrew Garfield, but it was like a whole minefield of spiders, so he
Yeah,
couldn't.
the way
couldn't
the
get
way the way Andrew Garfield got infected, got his powers was kind of iffy. I'm not gonna lie, it felt
Yeah, you could
super
have had like
weird.
50 spiders bite you, like bro.
Yeah, like
What?
like he
No,
was
he
in a
only
room
had one
full of
button.
spiders that are radioactive. If he got bit by like a majority of those spiders, he should have been dead. Like, let's be real.
No,
Yeah, that's
he
a
only
lot of
ever got bit by one.
Exactly, I'm saying.
right. But in
But in a
like
normal
if
circumstance,
we were,
we would have been dead. Absolutely.
oh
in a
yeah, no,
normal
100%.
circumstance, that wouldn't be happening. I mean,
Right, in a normal
oh,
circumstance, you would have
but
stuck with the group and
by the
not
way, it's a
gone anywhere.
fucking comic book, dude. Stop taking the fun out of it. But no,
No, I'm
I
just saying
mean,
like
yeah,
the way they
and all
put
these
Andrew
different
Garfield.
Spider-Men have obtained their powers in similar but different ways, and that just feeds into the multiverse.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't remember how Tom Holland got his powers. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
No,
I
he just had
don't.
them.
No,
He
There
just
was
had
no.
them, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't show
Like
Tom
ever since the
Holland's.
first movie and Civil War and all, he just had
this,
them.
yeah. When he was introduced in Civil War, there was no Uncle Ben. Well,
Right, it
maybe
was
there
just
is,
Aunt
but
May.
yeah, it was just Aunt May, and he already had the powers. There was no origin
They
story.
did
Right.
no real origin
I
So
story.
will say if they do that in Spider-Man 3 and like have like I guess a backstory of how he got it, I guess I'd be okay with it because it's like
We
you
don't need
don't
it.
just
no,
introduce a Spider-Man out of nowhere who just has powers. Like we get it. He got bit by a spider, but where? What led to him being bit? how did it happen and all that stuff.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? When I was questioning the same thing, and I did a little bit of research. The producers that made Tom Holland Spider Man, they didn't want to when they made Homecoming. They didn't want to make it the same way they did the previous Spider Mans with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. They wanted to be a completely like continuing like movie series. They didn't want to like re-show how they got big, re-show how like they evolved to become Spider-Man. They just wanted to start like basically on a clean slate and just move from forward from on from there. And that's how like I guess
Right, there we go.
Tom Holland like just everyone loves Tom Holland because the way that he plays Spider-Man. And
Because he's the young, kooky kid that everyone, perceives a Spider-Man to be. He's young, he's kooky, he doesn't know what he's doing yet with his powers or how to use them or
Honestly,
anything.
I thought Spider-Man would be a little bit more quirky, and nerdy. You can't turn around and tell me.
He's more funny and weird than quirky and nerdy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least in the comic books, they project Spider-Man more of a
Nerd.
nerd.
Yeah, no, that's why I feel like
But I mean, at the
Toby
end of the
did it
day,
right in a sense.
if he
with
was
the
younger,
nerd.
he would have gotten it
especially
perfect.
with the cringe Venom suit scene.
Right.
No, that was in the Spider-Man. Look, Spider-Man 3 is the holy grail of that trilogy.
Right,
And
because
don't
it
Yeah,
get me wrong,
that's
introduced
the
the
I like
point.
it.
Venom and the whole suit.
That's the point. Speaking of which, I
Yeah, but you just said it
cannot
was
wait
cringe.
for. Well, because it is cringe. I mean,
It's
that's
super
part of the
cringe.
whole thing. That's why he's quirky and he's nerdy. It's supposed to be cringe. I mean,
Okay, but
he and him dancing his whole goth, style setup
That that was
is
pretty quirky.
cringe.
That was
You know
pretty
what I
quirky
mean?
and cringe.
But that's the point. It's supposed to be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
um,
But
speaking
that's
of
like the
which,
good kind of cringe in a movie.
Like
yeah, I'm
I
not
don't think a
saying it's
lot of people
bad. I'm
got
not
that.
saying it as a bad thing.
No, I know
I'm
that.
not. I'm just saying it definitely was cringe. But I cannot wait for the new Venom movie, especially
bro,
after the first one knocked it out of the park,
bro,
and they're
Whatever
when they
introducing
made
Carnage.
did.
when they made Eddie from the Spider-Man 3, they made Eddie that Venom. I kind of like I hated that absolutely. But when they brought Tom Hardy as the new Venom, I'm not gonna lie, Tom Hardy did like absolutely the best Venom he could like I've
Oh
ever
yeah,
seen.
absolutely,
If
absolutely.
the storyline was a little stronger, I think the movie would have been a lot better. But like
Yeah, but I
Tom
also feel like
Holland did the best job anybody ever could
hmm
have done with what he had, for
yeah,
sure.
I
Like
feel like it was a
He's
feeler.
a young
fantastic performance.
type. That's what everyone loves about him the most. See,
Hmm.
I don't I like all three across because each one had a unique, I guess, trait to Spider-Man. Toby had the nerdy and kind of quirky. Andrew had, I guess, somewhat of the same features,
No, he
but
was the
just not
cool
as
one.
old.
He was the cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He
was definitely a cooler one.
That's why nobody liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man as much because he
he was
wasn't
perceived as
really
cool and not
he was
nerdy.
too cool.
Yeah.
He
So
was
And
too
wait,
cool.
wasn't it because also like he got with Gwen and like Mary Jane was introduced and stuff like that?
Let me say, spoiler possibly alert.
That
As
Gwen
to that.
fucking died.
But that was the realest shit I have ever seen.
Oh
Bro,
my
I
god,
cried. I
I
cried when
did.
I
I
found
Yo,
out.
cried
like
too. I
it
was
was
like, bro,
heart-wrenching, dude. Like you were like, "Oh, he got her. You know, it's Marvel. They're not gonna do that shit." And then you
and they
just see the
did it.
back of her
Bro,
head smack the floor, and I'm
They
like,
yeah, I didn't think they would show
"Oh,
it, and then you
like
just see
that
her
was real."
fucking neck snap. I
Exactly.
was like,
dude, that was
hmm
next
That was
level.
real.
I
Bro,
wasn't
like,
expecting that at all. And
and I think that's what cemented them.
bro, like
and
it,
then they didn't even follow it up, and I was like, okay, all right.
playing Gwen Stacy. She was a, I get, okay. She wasn't perceived as like the other nerdy kind of Gwen Stacy because there was what, a couple different kinds. There was like nerdy, there was cool, and then there was like the mix. Right? Am I wrong?
She wasn't cool, I'd say.
Well, okay, not
In
as
that
cool
one.
as Andrew
I think
Garfield, but
I
cool
definitely
enough.
think she was a very good, like, if we were to take an actual portrayal of Gwen, you know, definitely I would say that was a pretty accurate. Just the
Hmm.
way the character was, she was shy, she was humble, but you could very clearly see that everybody liked her. not only for her looks. That's how that character was, because the whole point of Spider-Man is surprising that she would even be interested in him, separate from the fact that he's Spider-Man. So I think that was a pretty solid portrayal of that character. And then they killed her off, and I was like, "Oh
Dude, I
shit!"
think that's another reason they couldn't go through with a 3 because they would have to basically introduce Mary Jane,
Mhm.
and but I don't know how they were gonna do that unless he just went to school again and obviously met Mary Jane. But
Well,
uh, I don't know how they would
Hard
have
to
done it.
illustrate
I
that
think I
because
think the way they could have done that is kind of how they did. Um, I think it was Spider-Man 2 when
They became
like
neighbors.
in Toby's when he was like really struggling and he was like, I'm not being Spider-Man and shit. That was the second one, right?
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
with Dr. Octavius.
Right. So I think
Right.
a similar situation could have played out where, the people around him that get involved with him keep getting hurt, and Aunt May kind of rallies around him again, but then also Mary Jane comes in as obviously a secondary love interest, but also to really be there and be like, the city needs you, people need you,
Right, but
that kind of thing. That I think that's how they might have introduced her.
you know
I
what's
mean,
funny?
maybe.
We should just rename this entire podcast Spider-Man with a little bit of bullshit about video games. Because every single podcast we end up talking
To
about
talk about
Spider-Man.
So
Spider-Man.
we somehow managed to bring up the
I
topic,
blame I
but
blame
I
Kyle
Right?
on
guess,
that.
it also has to do because with the whole new Spider-Man coming out on the PS5 and stuff,
And the movie.
and
And
exactly the movie, and it's kind
uh,
of semi-confirmed that there's gonna be a Spider-Verse, and Doctor Strange is involved with it.
Oh my
So
But
god.
let's
If Doctor
let's
Strange
think
is gonna
about
be in it,
this.
oh my god.
Let's think about this. Imagine they do end up making another Avengers movie. How do you think it's gonna be without Captain America and Chad Bodwick being the Black Panther?
they've already confirmed they're moving on to his little sister being the Black Panther.
yeah,
Okay,
no,
so
they've
But that's okay because in the comic books they do that.
okay,
yeah, they do.
so
But I
I
don't think
saw
he
I saw an
dies off
idea
though.
on Twitter saying how since they already opened up the multiverse theory, right? Um, they should put this guy's name. The guy on Black Panther 2, the enemy. What's his name?
After 2,
Yeah, on
uh,
Black
uh,
Panther,
Hmm?
just Black
You
Panther.
mean
yeah,
the Michael B.
Uh,
Killmonger.
Jordan? No,
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Michael
They
B. Jordan.
should go back in time, kill Killmonger, and make him become the official Black Panther in the current
No,
universe.
No.
no, I think
No.
Shuri should be the
Yeah,
Black
no,
Panther.
they
Yeah,
should keep it
100%.
to
Shuri
comics
yeah,
where
should.
it'll be
Shuri
more
becomes it.
effective as a sister.
Because if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the Black Panther series is too new to be already cutting off into a multiverse. In the comic books, they do make Zuri the Black Panther. So it's a solid transition. It's a little early, unfortunately, because
Of
are
Chadwick's
expecting
passing, but
exactly. Unfortunately, it happened, and honestly, it was a surprise to everybody because played it off so well, especially in throughout the movies and everything. But they can move it on to Zuri, and it'll still be good because her character alone was a solid major role in that movie.
Yeah, she had a good character in that movie.
Yeah, she stood alone, you know what I mean? Like she was her own character. It wasn't like she was in a background. Even when she was in the room with Black Panther and in the room with everybody else, she was there. So I
Hmm.
think it's going to be a good transition into it. Um I can't wait to see what's going to happen with the Avengers movies. I don't know about Captain America. I do know that the same thing happens. Honestly, I was expecting them to kill him off a lot earlier. In the comic books, he actually, if I'm not mistaken, dies in Civil War, I want to say. When he's fighting Iron Man.
I
And
don't remember.
yeah, I'm like pretty confident on that one. But it's
Iron
been a
Man is
while.
the Iron Man is the one that died a couple of times and got resurrect
No,
re.
no.
Got,
Iron Man's supposed to die against Thanos. He was
yeah,
Yeah,
but he
supposed to,
died
but
a
the
couple of
way that
times.
Thanos killed him in the comic books, he literally rips him in half. So
yeah,
I'm
no, they obviously
very
they
glad they
couldn't
didn't
show
portray
that.
that.
They really
Um,
couldn't show that, but
yeah,
you know.
I do think that what they're gonna end up doing is they're gonna go back again and try and reset it, which obviously is difficult. every time you go back and you enter that. But I feel like that's going to be the feeler into the multiverse because now that they're creating technically a completely separate universe in general because in the timeline it's splitting. I feel like that's going to come along and somebody's going to come over and say, "Hey, can you stop fucking with this cuz you don't realize what you're doing."
It's
And I
basically
don't.
like
And
what
it's
they're
going to
doing with
pull
the
in
Flash. It's
and
basically
it's
like when the Flash goes back in time.
exactly, and then it's gonna
He
pull in
messes up the
more major
timeline.
Marvel
And
role models and superheroes from the universe, that you normally wouldn't have heard about. And so that's gonna be pretty interesting because there's obviously higher tier, less popular superheroes that they're now opening windows to.
I wouldn't doubt this if the theory of the Spider Verse is coming. I wouldn't doubt that Doctor Strange does have to deal with something with Spider Man
Mhm.
since he does control time.
But
And
see,
he
I
can
feel like it
disrupt
makes sense
dimensions.
if Madam Web was to come and be an actual part of it instead of
No,
Doctor
You
Strange.
can't
no.
you can't
But that's just me.
you
If
can't
they're trying to transfer it to they're trying to transfer it to the Spider Verse, how it's supposedly rumored out to be. It doesn't make sense for her to be in it.
I'll tell you why
At
it
least
wouldn't make
not
sense.
yet.
I'll tell you why it wouldn't make sense. I do believe in the future she may come across as an option, but one, not even the concept of a Spider Woman has been, um, you know, even hinted towards real
Lies.
movies. No, the Miles Morales is the only one that you've seen a significantly like obvious hint towards it that it's a possibility. But with Doctor Strange, especially in the last movies, they just recently, showed a relationship between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange forming. And you already know that Spider-Man's definitely definitely gonna do his best to try and figure out a way to bring back Iron Man. And I
Uh,
feel that's where it's gonna lead to.
But Iron Man is not gonna come back.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
so.
mean,
uh,
you're wrong, by the way. They are
just
making a Spider
just
Woman
one
movie.
pause. We have eight
I'm
minutes
just talking
left.
about the other. Okay, I'm just talking about the other movies in general that have already been created. There hasn't been any reference.
Right. Okay. Okay. See, now that makes more sense. Okay. Maybe if.
I'm not saying like they've never said they're gonna do it. I'm just saying she's never been
Right.
referenced as a possibility.
Right. But like, okay, I get it. If she was to like, I don't know, I guess appear out of nowhere. Which
It would be
in
weird.
one of like the 1990 shows that came out, she just kind of appeared out of nowhere. There
Yeah,
wasn't
I
any
mean,
reference of her coming or foreshadowing that we are gonna have someone who's gonna predict the future and whatnot.
yeah, but I just can't see that happening for this one because this at least the MCU as it is does not like pulling random shit out of a bag. They don't like doing that. They
Right,
like
because then it'd be
building
like
up
a
a
2-minute movie.
backstory and an
Well,
anticipation, and then
they
oh,
kind of
go
did
ahead.
that with Spider-Man though in Civil War.
Right, because he
Well, yeah.
freaking Tom Holland came out of nowhere with no backstory of how Tony knew him or met him, how Peter got his powers, any of
Yeah,
that.
but if I'm gonna be honest, the reason I feel like that happened, and Moss, I'll let you go right after, is that how many times have we already heard the Spider-Man origin?
I don't know, like fucking a
No
million
matter
times
how many
between the
times you
comics, the
can change
games,
it
and the movies.
around,
100%.
Yeah,
no
that's
matter
why
how
they
much you
did
change
it
it
with.
around, the core thing is just that Uncle Ben dies, he gets bit by a spider. Everybody knows that. You find that, that's fine. But with something as groundbreaking as a female Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, I should say, it's definitely gonna be something completely different that they can't just do that. If you do something like that with a Spider-Woman, all hell will break loose. Because now suddenly, why do Spider-Man have a full background, but now Spider-Woman doesn't get that? Her background's not gonna be the same. It may or may not, but I mean,
I don't
they're gonna
know
put
much
its own
about
twist on
Spider
it.
Woman, so I really can't give a definitive answer on her background.
It's just you can't because I
Our
mean
tarantulas in the
the way it is
Amazon.
right now, the way it is right now, you can't just bypass that. It's impossible to not do her background story. If they did, all hell would break loose because now they
I
feel like they don't feel it's worth
All right.
mentioning.
So,
I agree.
so
I just want to go.
I think the
go ahead,
other
Moss.
thing, like, I think the other thing is that Spider-Man didn't just play the role of like being Spider-Man, but also tied into Tony Stark's story of like finding a successor. because we already knew, like, he already decided in like Iron Man 3 at the end of that arc that he didn't want to like Pepper was getting too involved, and the people
Threw away
that were
everything.
Yeah,
close
he
to
wanted
him
to
were
step
going
back.
to, yeah, he wanted to step back, but he still needed somebody to carry the torch when he was gone because of the vision that he saw,
Hmm.
and Peter was the person to do that when he showed up. I think, and like, you know that kid that he met in the
We
third
hadn't
Iron
talked
Man?
about that. I don't. I remember. I know he's talking about like the snowy, like deserted area. Not
Yeah,
deserted, but you know what I
I
mean.
think he was supposed to be that original kid. I
The
think that was
predecessor.
I think that was actually the plan, and then Marvel acquired the rights to Spider-Man, and that's why he was just kind of thrown into Civil War sort of out of nowhere,
So guys,
and
this
became
At the funeral too.
so
right.
guys,
Yeah,
this
he was
kind of
there. So there was obviously a plan for that character, I think,
you know.
but
Oh, that's the mic.
but to fit Spider-Man into the world, they just kind of threw him in there in Civil War and then made him Tony's predecessor.
All right, so before we wrap
That's
things
my
up,
going theory.
what was it, Anthony, that you were saying?
Oh, so now I was gonna say something completely off topic. So if you guys had to be a at 70 character, who would you pick?
Oh my God, why are you
Wait, a
asking?
what?
This is
Wait,
so
wait,
out
wait,
of the blue.
Wait,
wait. I know
what?
this is so out of topic, but I was remembering that 70 show, and Moss just reminds me of Hyde.
I knew exactly where that was going. I knew exactly where that was going.
Where is this coming from?
I don't even
Hello.
want to. I don't even want to
How did
talk
we
about
go
that
Bro,
because
from how did we go from
that character
Marvel
just get charged
character
with like
to
all
the
those like.
70s show?
I don't know. Yeah, he did. But the funny
I
part is
do
that
not
he
look
just
like
reminds me
this.
of Hyde. Like,
He's just
yeah,
talking
I
about the
man.
hate
hair.
you.
He's
I
just talking
hate
about the
you.
hair. He's just talking about the curly hair.
Like,
I
bro, all you have
know.
to do is throw shades on your face and just put the sideburn.
Wait, like, okay, I know we're about to like kind of wrap things up, but I just saw a Twitter thing just now. According to IGN, a Sony
Funny wabbit.
executive has reportedly said that we may be getting our first look of Spider-Man 3 before the end of 2020. So I'm kind of excited for that now. Now just saying that.
Wait, Kyle, are you getting a
Um,
PS5?
huh?
Are you getting a PS5?
Uh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hopefully.
So wait, so you're gonna buy Spider-Man, but you're gonna play on the PS4, I'm assuming.
Well, first things
Just
first, he
play
has
it
to
on my
fix his PC.
PS4.
Oh yeah, first he has to fix his PC, which he might
Mm-hmm.
be
Yeah.
getting a call tomorrow. Hopefully it's
Let's
fixed,
talk about the
because
PC first before he buys any other game.
PC comes first right now.
yeah, his
Fixing it. My
Like,
voice fell.
like the new COD can wait. You know, I can wait and buying that.
his thing's been
I've had
broken
my
for about a month,
yeah.
and he built it
Going on
this year. Imagine that.
yeah. I mean, it's better
So I
than
guess
some other people, but you know.
so I'm guessing if we were Looney
I'm
Tunes,
70
Kyle
crap
would
out
be
of
Bugs Bunny, right?
Pretty fucking much, yeah.
All
Oh yeah,
right.
that reminds me.
I'll be the guy saying, I'm gonna go wabbit hunting.
Who's?
Okay, Elmer Fudd, relax.
There
All
you
right,
go. You know the name to your arch nemesis.
all right. Before we wrap things up, everyone can go ahead and give their handles. Kyle, you can go ahead and start first.
I am Bugs Bunny. All right, you can find me at bugsbunny.com.
Okay,
No,
no,
I'm
come on.
Fuck you. No, you can find all of my socials at mbd_empire. Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Uh,
YouTube. Oh, that's right. He
maybe
has a YouTube. I forgot. He barely posts
I
anything now.
really post. I think the last post I made was like 8 months ago
Yes.
or a year.
Same with your
You're
Instagram
horrible when
account.
it comes to social media.
I mean, I recently posted, but they were like a year
Was it a
apart
view
from the
section?
post. But you know,
Okay, Moss.
Was it a view?
As usual, you can find me on Kyle's mom's Instagram at moss.5.507. Jesus Christ. And that's all I got for now.
All right, Anthony.
Oh, you can follow my Instagram. It's that silverrolla_.
Grim.
There's nothing after the underscore.
Nope,
First,
nothing.
it's just
Just a
another.
You
pop
can just-
bag. Just a
It's just
future pop
there.
bag.
It's
That's
literally
so
just there.
low.
I just recently created my Instagram social media, so you can find me there at grim with two m's dot 392. So GRIMM.392. And on there, I have my Twitch link, so that way you can find it easier. So
Everyone's
frustrating
literally
because,
that
everyone's
same word.
information is gonna be in the description in our YouTube channel, so don't
dude,
even worry.
it's still frustrating because I got Grim 392 for everything except Instagram. I had to put that dot because one person has Grim 392, and I message them and they're like, "I'll let you know because I may sell my car because it's a Charger." It's the most frustrating thing of life.
Why?
Okay.
Because they're on a boat.
It's literally the
No,
same thing for my Instagram. I had to put a dot instead of an underscore. I'm like,
You
and
look
I,
like a
and I
dot.
saw the person who had it. He has no posts. He has like one follower, and is following like one
Okay, you
other
can follow
person.
me at Spunny TV at Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and you can follow us on our Tom Fuller YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, and leave some comments. Well, definitely the comments, and let us know about your feedback and how you feel about the podcast. But other than that, thank you for listening and or watching, and have a good night.
Like Bugs Bunny had.